Stop copying what everyone else is doing. Because not only are you losing your opportunity to be original, you're also just becoming like everyone else. There's nothing novel about it. You lose your identity as a person when you start becoming like everyone else. Oh, you want to dress the same as everyone else. Eventually, you're going to start talking the same as everyone else. Oh, everyone is investing in this certain stock. And then you invest your money in that stock, and guess what happens? Out of the blue, you lose all that money, and so does everyone else. You need to think for yourself. Make your own decisions in life, right? That's a very important skill to have. You shouldn't always do what everyone else is doing, because majority of the time, people are just wrong. People just like following the herd. It's very comfortable to follow the herd of whatever everyone is believing or striving towards, or whatever perspective they have on something. It's very easy to fall into the trap of being like everyone else. But you need to remember that there is only one of you, and that the only way you're going to be able to be free mentally, to be able to be creative, to be able to be the master of your own life, is if you stray away from the crowd. If you stay away from people's opinions and beliefs and what they think and stuff like that. Because the thing is, it's very important to stay original in a world that's trying to make you like everyone else. You go online and there's a lot of viral TikTok videos, there's a lot of viral information and stuff that's out there that is meant to make you believe a certain thing. News outlets do the same thing. They make you believe that someone is the enemy. They make you believe that this is what's happening in a country, but it's only a small part of something that's a lot bigger. We need to be able to be independent and think freely, think for ourselves, and make our own judgment and assessment. Even if we are wrong, even if our judgment or assessment was wrong, that is great too, because now we have a lesson to learn from it. We can learn from our mistakes. Whereas if you do what everyone else is doing, you don't really learn much, because you're just following the herd. You didn't make that decision yourself. People made that decision for you. That hey, listen, man, you need to do this. You need to invest your money in this stock. Hey man, listen, you need to do this with your life. Everyone else is doing it. Look at all these people that are successful. They can do it. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme. If you don't understand what a pyramid scheme, it's like, it's where you buy some product, or you're marketing some product for another person. You buy their product and you're promoting it. And then another person is under your wing, and they're promoting the product that you're promoting. But the thing is, the people who started, who were right at the top, they're the ones who are making the most money. And a lot of the times pyramid schemes fail. But in real life, there's a lot of things that are similar to pyramid schemes, right? Our belief, the way we dress, a lot of it is just like we just follow what everyone else is doing like a sheep, but we're not the wolf. We're not the leader of the pack. And all of us are capable of greatness and uniqueness, and I think a lot of people are struggling to find their purpose. And I think one of the main reasons is because we always just copy what everyone else does. We think the same as everyone else. We talk the same. Our body language is the same as everyone else. You dress the same. We it's crazy. How that is. Like, naturally, as human beings, we want to adapt to our surroundings. It's a very natural thing to do. But when you're adapting to an environment, you need to also have awareness. You can't just mindlessly suppress yourself to everything around you. You can't do that. You have to think for yourself first and tell yourself, is this the right path? Is this the right thing to do? Hold on, let me backtrack a little bit. You need to be able to reflect. You need to be able to think about these things. It's very important that you are able to spend time with yourself and kind of assess your beliefs are. And where do those beliefs come from? Did those beliefs come from your parents? Did those beliefs come from your friends? You have to really look back and assess those things. Write down in a journal. If you believe in a certain religion, right? Ask yourself, why do I believe in this? Is it because my parents taught me this? Is it because my educational institutions taught me this? What is the definition of being successful? If your answer is very generic, chances are you're just following the herd or what everyone else, or whatever these information outlets tell you. You know, whatever you see on the internet. Having a lot of cars is a sign of success. Having a big house is a sign of success. Having a big family is a sign of success. Big, more. But what it's doing is it's making you stay away from your true identity as a person, and it's making you even more depressed because now you want more, and more. It's an addiction. And then you see that everyone else around you has these things. You know, maybe you're in a neighborhood where everyone's driving fancy Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit like that, and then it makes you believe that this is what success is and this is what I should be doing with my life. Yeah, man. You know what? I'm going to grind hard. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to buy these cars. It's good to have motivation, but do you genuinely want it? You need to ask yourself this. Do you genuinely, from the bottom of your heart, is this what you really want? Is this what's going to really make you happy? You need to really, really sit down with yourself, away from people, away from your environment that you're in, and ask yourself these questions. Then you're going to eventually get into a breakthrough. You're going to realize that either that's exactly what I want or that's not what I want, right? It's a matter of stepping back. Sometimes you got to stay away from the crowd. Sometimes you have to be alone to understand yourself. Sometimes you have to be alone to figure yourself out. Sometimes you need to be alone to reset your mind, to reset your body. You can't always be around people all the time. Don't be like that, because then you're not going to find yourself. You're not going to be able to figure out the greatness and potential that you have inside of you. Anything that's novel or creative has come from people who have reflected by themselves, people who have been by themselves, people who are able to think for themselves. That's what a lot of us are lacking nowadays. We always just want to be like everyone else. We're always following the trends. And I think it's so stupid. I don't think it's the right thing to do. Think for yourself, man. And that way, it'll take you towards the path that you're meant to be on. I've been caught in those traps so many times in my life, man, that I can't even count. I always wanted to dress like a certain person, like a certain celebrity. I always wanted to buy the latest brand name clothing. I believed certain things that I thought were right for me, but they're not. I used to believe about quantity over quality, but now I believe in quality over quantity. I also believe in the importance of self grooming. These things I didn't care about back then because everyone else was just lazy. That was around me in my life. And I've noticed that the people you hang around with the most, whether it's your family members that you see on a daily basis or your really close friends or whoever, the more you hang around with them, the more you're going to be like them. And then you're going to feel a sense of dread or anxiety deep down inside you when you're in your room. You're going to feel it, man. You're going to feel it eventually. That there's something greater waiting for you outside of that door, right? And the only way to find out is to leave your house. If you still live with your parents, bro, it's great that you live with your parents. Maybe you can save a lot of money, and maybe up to your 30s or 40s or whatever, it can be a blessing to be able to still be able to live with your family and, help them around the house and, all these types of things. But I've noticed that the longer you stay in that zone, the comfort zone, and the longer that you stay with, you interact with your family members, the more you start becoming like them. If your family members are all business minded, they're very entrepreneurial mindset, chances are you're going to have an entrepreneurial mindset. If your parents come from an very old traditional background where you need to get a 9-to-5 job, you need to go up the ladder, chances are that you're going to end up being like them too, because you want to make them happy. And sometimes it takes a lot of effort to explain that there are other outlets of success, that there are other ways you can start your own business online. It's hard to explain that to them. So a lot of us resort to just following the path that has been laid out to us, but by our parents, by our family members. And that can lead us to a serious form of depression, man. That can lead you it can lead you into a very, 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 very sad path. And I'm telling you this from experience, bro. I've done things only because my parents have told me to do, because I believed in their thinking, their thought process that, you get a degree, you become an accountant, you make us some money, you work your way up the ladder, eventually you're gonna get married, you're gonna buy a house, you're gonna have kids, you're gonna go through this entire process, because I've been through that process, son. This is what it's gonna be like to you. They may not even directly tell you this, but you deep down, you feel that you need to make them happy by following their path. And I don't think that's true, man. You need to follow your own path. You need to figure yourself out. And that's just one example. A lot of us we just go through life without reflection. We go through life without slowing down and realizing what is it that we truly want from our lives. And the only way to do that, man, is to be by yourself, man, to stay away from the comfort area, the comforting friends, the comforting environment where you're from, where you live. That's why I tell people, man, if you are able to travel, if you're able to live abroad specifically, if you are to live abroad in a country that doesn't speak your native tongue, I promise you that you will learn so much about yourself that books cannot even give you. You will learn life skills. You will learn how to deal with adversity. You will learn how to deal with all loneliness, all these other things that come to mind when you're living abroad. But the most positive things happen to you. You start thinking for yourself. You start being creative because you're away from that comfort zone. You're away from the environment that you've been familiar with for a majority of your life. You're not in that environment anymore. And when you're not in that environment anymore, you really start to change as a person. You really start to grow. I've noticed that when I don't see my friends for years, or when I step outside of my town and I go somewhere else and I live somewhere else, and I come back after a couple of years or a couple of months and I talk to them, they're all exactly in the same situation that they were in when I talked to them years ago. I have one friend who he's going through depression, and he's been going through depression over a girl for many years. And 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, after he broke up with the girl, he's still in that same situation. And the reason why I believe he isn't still in that situation is because he's still living in that same environment that he's been living in all his life. He's surrounded by the same people. He's surrounded by the same toxic coworkers. He's surrounded by the same just groups of people, but he doesn't want to change. He thinks it's too much work to go into a new environment, to be in an uncomfortable situation. He thinks it's too much work. And it's very sad to see that when you are the one who is progressing in life, and your friends that you've known for so long, when you talk to them again, when you see them again, they're still the same. And a lot of people are in this situation, man, and sometimes a lot of people don't have a choice. We may have to support our family. We may have certain responsibilities that are put on our plate that has forced us to live in our environment for the same environment for a very long period of time. And but the thing is that even if you are still in that same environment, you need to make time for yourself to go into a new place, visit a new town, visit a new city, go join a new community, join a running community, join some sort of community that you're not familiar with, so you're able to gain knowledge, you're able to have different perspectives thrown at you. If you are a Christian, if you are a Jewish, if you are a Muslim, if you are a Buddhist, and you've known this religion all your life, it is very important that you understand the other religions as well, that you interact with other people, so it gets rid of your stereotypes of people. It gets rid of the bias that you've had all your life. It gets rid of all the hatred that you thought you had towards the other people. Once you are able to interact with these other groups and other cultures, you learn so much, and you realize a lot of the lies that have been thrown at you as well. When you are able to go and interact with new communities and new groups, you realize the things that you know are true, and you start learning about the things that you know were lies. Anyways, thank you for watching.